Not sure if this music's really fitting, but we'll work with it. Ohio, good morning. Konnichiwa, one and all. Kanso Taku is here with you today with another trading card opening. This time we are taking a look at Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal, a movie released way back in December of, I believe, 1982. A dark fantasy about a young gelfling, as they call it, taking a shard of a crystal back to fulfill a prophecy in a world of mystic and wonder, death, perils, and actually quite a bit of lore after its initial release. It was definitely a movie that, if you watched it as a kid, would do one of two things. Would either mystify you with the fantasy and the puppetry used in it, or would terrify you from the looks of certain creatures in it. And that's definitely true for me on both terms, actually. Love the movie. I thought some of the creatures were horrifying. Still kind of do, to be honest, even though looking at it back now, it's like, yeah, some of them maybe not so much. I did just actually rewatch the movie before starting this, just to get a refresher on it. Still holds up. Still love it. Can't say anything bad about it because, when it was made and how impressive it looked back then. Because that is the thing. It's Jim Henson work. Jim Henson is well known for his puppetry. He did a lot of things back in the past, like the Muppets, of course, with Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy and all that. And he also had other shows like Fraggle Rock, and I'm not sure if I want to say he did some stuff with Sesame Street. I could be wrong, but yeah, basically back then, if it had anything to do with puppetry, Jim Henson probably had a good hand in it. But kind of going into a little bit of the story. There's a crystal that has been broken, and there's two ancient entities, or two parties. There's a peace-loving, kind of like shepherd-like group called the Mystics, and then there's a dark, tyrannical group of bird/lizard-like creatures called the Skeksis, as you can see right there. Love the Skeksis. So their prophecy is that a young boy, a gelfling, will come and bring the last missing piece of the crystal back, and basically bring peace back to this dark, rotting kingdom. And of course the Skeksis don't want that. They are in power, they want to stay in power, so they're going to do whatever it takes to stop the prophecy from being fulfilled. Lots of beautiful practical effects, puppetry, environments, good characters, lots of laughs, some drama, all that good stuff. But that's enough about the movie, because today we are, like I said, opening up the trading cards based on the movie. Now, of course, this is from, I believe, what was the name of the company? Donruss. American company called Donruss that made these back in the same year of 82, so very, well, by today's standards, old trading cards. And of course, these are your traditional sets, so it's going to be, basically like with the Super Mario Brothers, it's going to be showing off, scenes from the movie, kind of like storybook. Don't believe there's going to be anything like chase cards or anything like that. It's just your old-fashioned trading cards where you're trying to go for a full set. There's no special ones that, only so many are going to be available. It's just buy what you can, get the full set, complete the story. And of course, you can see on here, we got the Dark Crystal, of course. You got Jin, the main antagonist Gelfling, a young female Gelfling that he meets along the way named Kira. This little buddy right here, his name is Fizzgig. He is almost like a dog-like creature, bundle of energy. And then of course you got one of the Skeksis here. I want to say this is the general. The weird thing is, like, at the end of the movie, in the credits, they give the names of the characters. The Skeksis and the Mystics all go by kind of like different names. Like, the Skeksis all have like political / war type names, like General, Treasurer, slave owners, things like that. And then the Mystics have more, like peacetime or beneficial names like healer, numerologist, kind of like that. You could say the movie kind of has some undertones of like politicalness, like Skeksis show their rank by wearing vibrant clothes. One of them gets ousted and gets their clothes stripped off, so kind of like banishing them from the kingdom and all that. They enslave another species of denizens of the planet called podlings. Basically suck the life out of them, make them slaves. Yeah, kind of dark for what was, I think was supposed to be a kid's movie. I'm not well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a kid's movie altogether, but yeah, back in the day, they were really open with what they would allow kids to watch. Like, nowadays, I don't think something like the Dark Crystal would be made, just because it can be pretty dark. Of course, one important factor is back in 2019, Netflix came out with it was the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, which was basically a prequel to the movie about how the Skeksis came into power and what happened to the Gelflings, because at this point in the movie, these are the only two living Gelflings, and then with the Skeksis and the Mystics, there's only, at the beginning of the movie, 10 living ones remaining. So yeah, it's basically like the prequel is before everything basically went to shit, and the movie is the end game where it's like everything's coming to a close and the end result. There's 36 packs in a box, 8 cards in a pack, and these are your old school wax packs. So yeah, very sign of the times. Like, everything is in foil now, but back then it was in wax. Thankfully these ones don't have it, but a lot of cards back in the day in the wax packs like these, maybe, I know Garbage Pail Kids probably did, and Batman cards did. Some of them would actually have like stickers, which, over time the residue's not going to be there anymore, and worst of all, gum. So if you had a pack like this now and you open it up and there was a stick of gum in there, it would be the most dried out, rotted stick of gum, and people have shown themselves attempting to eat, or at least try to chew on the gum. It's not pleasant. It looks like it basically just dissolves in the mouth. There's nothing there to it. It's just, rotted chemicals, more or less. But yeah, gonna try to go over things here while I'm opening the packs. Try not to rant too much. I could talk about the show and the movie all day, especially the show, because I loved the show when it came out. It was like, I can't remember, like 10 or 12 episodes, about an hour long each. So, kind of like a saga of its own then. Really good, really enjoyed it, and they kind of built it up to where it's like, okay, they're going to continue it. And then during one of the award ceremonies at the end of 2019, I think it was 2019, when Age of Resistance actually won an award for something, Netflix came out and said, oh yeah, we're done, we're canceling any future projects on the Dark Crystal. It's like, well, and of course that's, you see how Netflix is now with talks about them going into crapper, so that's on them. Other companies might try to bring it back. They've had games based on the on Age of Resistance at least. Books, comics, you name it, based off of the series. So there is a fan base. There's still a fan base. I'm one of them, and now I'm opening up these cards. This was one of the boxes I bought. I ended up getting two. This one was already open, but the cards inside were still perfectly sealed. And then I got another box that still has a plastic wrap around it. I was gonna say, I think this was around $50. And like I said, it's a case where there's no chasers. There's not any single card in here that I imagine is gonna be more than $10, to be honest. There might be something that could be worth a few bucks, but other than that, I think I've also seen people trying to sell just the wax wrapper on eBay for a few bucks. It's like, well, it's history, but you're gonna be looking for a very specific fan base, either those that collect anything related to trading cards, or those specifically looking for stuff related to the Dark Crystal. I looked at it a little bit beforehand. I'm just trying to get a better look. Like on the back here, if I hold it up to here, you can see the backs of the cards kind of bleed through the wax, so you can see a little bit of what's like. But yeah, without further ado, we'll just go ahead and rip into these. I'm hoping that they're not going to be sticking together, because that would be very bad. And I'm not entirely sure how many there are. There could be 50 some cards in a set, or there could be 80. We'll just have to go through them and see what all we get. So, with the first one here, this is one of the little podlings. He's already, milky white eyes, so he's basically had his life drained, so he's got no free will, so he's working for the Skeksis. And a little explanation there. Okay, on the bottom it does say how many there are. There are 78 altogether. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to actually read all these or not, just because I don't really want to be running my voice. But yeah, some of these I might go into a little more with, just because of the scene in the movie. Like this one in particular, it's Jin and Kira, and I'm hoping I'm saying the name right, because I think so. And then these are the what would terrify kids from watching it at a young age. I can't remember the name now, so I'm gonna flip this over and look at it. The Gartham. So they're giant bug-like creatures that the Skeksis use to hunt down the Gelflings. Okay, it is Kira. Okay, So, yeah, the Gartham are created by the Skeksis using the power of the Dark Crystal. They honestly, they remind me of cicadas. Like, well, cicadas, like if you're outside and you look at a tree and there's like the molted shell of a cicada, it's usually something that stands out. That's what these basically remind me of. It's like giant cicada husks. They're big, they're creepy looking. Funny thing with, back in the day, that was puppeteers inside of these giant outfits. And they're supposed to have these long spindly legs like insects to get around. But in watching the movie, you can see there's two large masses in between that are moving along, and that's of course their legs, so they can move in those huge suits. Alright, here's the main chamber where the Dark Crystal is held, and then you got our Skeksis here. I was trying to see. This might be like the beginning of the movie, so yeah, they're all standing there. The sunlight will come in from above, shine onto the crystal, and beam light into the Skeksis, and that basically gives them their power and eternal life. And that's what the shard is supposed to do: bring the last piece of the crystal back to end this cycle. Of course, from the start to the very end, where Jin the Gelfling has the shard in his hand, getting ready to put the final piece back into the crystal, which would end that cycle and purify the crystal. And then right before, Jin is on this little balcony above the crystal, and the Garthams are there trying to apprehend him. Jin on this planetary observatory machine owned by Ogra. That's the weird creature on the front of the wrapper. There's Ogra. She appears in both the prequel and the main movie. Of course, in the main movie, she's old, kind of, I wouldn't say senile, but she's almost like a crazy old lady, but she's a good part of the movie and a major part of the prequels. Okay, this, I believe, is the Chamberlain, which is one of the main antagonists, and Kira. The Chamberlain, at the beginning of the movie, well, yeah, at one point in the movie, their previous emperor dies, so they just have to decide who's going to become the new emperor. Some of the Skeksis think the Chamberlain should be, some of the others think that the general should be, so they have a battle. Chamberlain loses, gets ousted, and he tries to weasel his way back in as a politician would. Okay, never mind. This is the bad part where one of the Skeksis stabs Kira in the back as she's throwing the shard up to Jin, who's on top of the crystal. But another part of the movie. This is actually part of a flashback. As I said, Jin and Kira are the last two Gelflings alive. In a flashback that we get in the movie, we find out that Jin was found by the Mystics and was raised by them. So at one point in this flashback, you're seeing a young Jin and the Mystic Master that cared for him. Alright, in this scene here, you see the Mystics making their voyage from their little place to the castle that holds the crystal. And throughout the movie, you basically see their voyage. They're slow, docile creatures, so it takes forever, but for them, it's basically the fates have their way. They'll get there when they need to. Let's see, this one here is the previous emperor, basically on his deathbed. As you can see, these Skeksis are quite the horrifying creatures. You know, you can see some reptilian look from them. Also, I see a lot of like buzzard or vulture. So, yeah, they're bird reptilian-like creatures, all evil. Here, you see one of the Garthams who was in pursuit of the Gelflings, and then we have our ousted Chamberlain here. You can see his outfit is all torn, shredded. There's like no bright, vibrant colors, which he used to wear in the castle. And yeah, outside of the castle, he's trying to, I guess, earn the Gelflings' trust so he can bring them back to the castle and basically get reinstated in his former position. Here you see Kira on a... You don't really see it here. There might be another card I'll show up better. They're riding a creature called a land strider, and they are tall-legged creatures and have death screams that are quite horrifying when you watch the movie. Here is the first confrontation between Jin and Ogra. Can't really see him, but that's what's happening. When Jin leaves the Mystics to find Ogra, who holds the shard of the Dark Crystal, he gets caught up in these vines, and she confronts him, and basically she was in control of the vines. Alright, here's a nice up-close look of the Gartham. Let me see what it says. Okay. The Skeksis made Gartham armored warriors of destruction to foil the ancient prophecy foretelling the end of Skeksis rule by Gelfling hand. The sole purpose of the Gartham is to destroy everything in their path. And yeah, kind of, foreboding tale. In the prequel, The Age of Resistance, near the end of the series, or what would have been the first season, one of the Skeksis creates this, creates a prototype, or, one of the first ones of these, and unleashes it onto an army of Gelflings. I could go into a little bit more about the backstory. Like, in the prequel, it's before the Skeksis really come into power. There's a whole kingdom of Gelflings, I think maybe different tribes, and the Skeksis are basically seen as almost like gods to them. And yeah, the Skeksis know the power of the crystal, and by trying to self-destruct the Gelfling from the inside, they create one of these and unleash it, and turns out that these things in the prequels were near indestructible and were more than likely the cause of the mass extinction, evisceration of the Gelflings. Here's a better look at Ogra's observatory. She's staying there. There's that giant planetary thing that Jin was on when the Gartham were trying to apprehend him. Here's one of the ending scenes of the movie. Jin has just put the shard in the crystal. It's becoming purified. One of the Skeksis has stabbed poor Kira, so he's there holding her lifeless body, and at that same time, the Mystics have made their way into the central chamber of the castle. And that was card 76, and there's 2 more after that, so, yeah, I'm not well, I guess it's alright that they're all like this, it's just that, you know, the book I'm going to be putting them in, they're all going to be like this, so it'll be a little awkward, but I will make it work. It's like I kind of want to try to keep these from ripping. Of course, I've got a whole bunch of them, so it's not like it's going to matter if I completely destroy one. And then we might be getting into some duplicates now. So we got the Dying Emperor, Chamberlain, Landstrider, the Vines, Gartham, the Observatory, that ending scene. Oh, here's a different one. Okay, so this is Ogra, a closer look at her. She is at the observatory. She was apprehended by the Gartham and taken to the castle, and they locked her up in what they call the Chamber of Life. So, one of the things that the Skeksis will do, and one of the ways that they were able to enslave the Podlings, they take them into this room underneath the chamber where the crystal is, and they have a reflective mirror that will shine the light of the crystal into this room. They'll have them locked up in chairs, and the beam will go into their eyes, and it will basically drain the life out of them, kind of, you know, their free will and all that. And it would, yeah, their life essence would be liquefied and put into a vial for them to consume. The only problem is that podlings don't provide the adequate nutrients or, you know, the life essence that the Skeksis would require to remain youthful. So that's why most of the movie they look as, you know, gnarly as they are, because they've been around for thousands of years, I believe. I think that's what they said in the movie, was that, you know, the crystal had been shattered for at least 1,000 years. Okay, this one, let's see. Okay, this is the Ritual Master. This is the one that ended up stabbing Kira at the end of the movie. The one that's, you know, for purposes of informing the audience, would proclaim what they're doing, like at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie and whatnot, like, you know, getting the life or getting the power from the crystal and all that. Oh, well, here's actually one that's upright. Let's see, which one are you? This one looks like it could... No, not quite. Oh, this is the Slave Master, so this is the one that controls the podlings. I guess there is a little podling right there. You can't really see. It's kind of got like a mushroom-like head. But yeah, the Slave Master, he's the one that, when the Gartham go out and, you know, they'll capture the little podlings and bring them back to the castle, and then he would go ahead and, you know, once they've been drained of their life essence, he would order them around. Alright, here's, well, showing one of the mystics there in the circle with the purified crystal getting ready to complete the prophecy. Here's the mystics outside of the entrance to the castle, and there's a couple of Gartham guarding the entrance. Most of the mystics don't really say anything. they're vocal with chants like I don't know if I really want to do one or not, but they all go like oh, and that's kind of almost like their way of communicating, but way of doing things. Here's another upright one. I guess spoiler, the Skeksis and the Mystics were once one entity. 1,000 years prior to the movie, they broke the crystal, split into two different entities, the Skeksis and the Mystics. And yeah, this is their single form. Mystics and Skeksis merge into a single being, an Urskek. And Urskek touches Kira's back, healing her wound. Jin and Kira watch as the Urskeks are drawn into the crystal on beams of light. By healing the crystal, Jin restored harmony and goodness to the world. Technically he does not. I remember that scene in the movie, because they look like holograms in the movie. It does not reach out at all to touch her. He tells Jin to hold her close, and then she's fine. So I could debunk that right away. All right, here's the Garthams. They got a little cage on their back where they've got some podlings, and you can kind of see it's still blocking, but the Land Striders, they kind of look like rabbits with long ears, but yeah, they're legs that go clear down to here, so they are very, very long-legged creatures. All right, here's a scene at the Podling village. Kira was another one that, where Jin was raised by the Mystics, Kira was raised by the Podlings, and they are kind of like a simple nobleman, or not nobles, but I guess in a hierarchy system they would probably be seen as like the peasants, I guess. The ones working the land, doing all the work for the kingdom. Here's a good look at Ogra. Quite an interesting character design. You'd think there's a third eye there. This eye's gone, and then this eye she will take out to get a closer look at things. So yeah, once she got captured by the Garthams, emerging from the sack in which she had been carried from the observatory to the castle, Augur approaches the table at which Skeksis are seated, gorging themselves. She blames the stupidity of the Gartham for their mistake. It's like, it almost would have been good to, stream the movie and then show off the cards so that people would have a better understanding. Unfortunately, copyrights and all that, I'd get docked for that right off the bat. But, if you're a fan of the movie and you're seeing this, you'll probably recognize some of the scenes. If this is your first time seeing these cards, you're probably going to be very confused, and I do apologize. If it looks interesting, I highly recommend watching the movie. I still think it's good. Some things I think might not quite hold up as they did back then, but overall, I enjoyed it. It has a cult following. That's why they made the Age of Resistance, and why there's so much stuff out there for it, and why Netflix is hated because they canceled it. This is one of the beginning scenes of the movie. This is the mystic that cared for Jin throughout his basically infant life, helped him grow, learn, and all that. And he's on his deathbed, and he is informing Jin of the prophecy and what he must do to complete the crystal, bring peace back to the land. And of course, he's on his deathbed, and as we saw in one of the other cards, the old emperor was on his deathbed. And since we know that they are linked, we don't know this during the movie, but by the end we find out. When one dies, the other dies. if one gets hurt, the other gets hurt. Here's Jin. I believe he's at the Podling feast, or the little get together. He's a musician, or well, he's musically talented. He plays like a little flute-like thing. At one point, I think he actually uses it to discover the true crystal, because Ogra has a bunch of like crystal shards that she's keeping, and so not knowing what one's the true shard, he remembers the mystics doing their little hum chant, plays that the note that he can, and it illuminates the true crystal. So yeah, there's the Podling slave, the Garthams cornering the Gelflings, the crystal chamber, Jin on the crystal, Jin about to jump on the crystal, Jin on the or Ogra's planetary deal, observatory. I do kind of like how, you know, Jim Henson, when he made the movie, I don't think he had any intention of really going as deep into the lore as it has since his time. Because, well, you have to have some amount of lore when you're making a movie to, you know, have things make some sense. But, you know, in the Age of Resistance, you know, with these hour-long episodes, you get a lot of time to get some more backstory on certain characters and the history of the land, and, you know, what caused the Gelflings to be reduced down to 2, and yeah, why the crystal is dark, why everything's as bad as it is in the movie. So here's Ogra sitting down in front of the Skeksis, who are having their feast and, you know, pigging out and being disgusting, telling them, or reminding them that, yeah, the prophecy's coming, that they're about to meet their maker. Alright, we got our good Chamberlain here, with Kira in hand at the, at the Emperor's throne, informing him that he caught the Gelfling, and where the Gartham failed to do it, so is basically trying to put in a good word for himself to get reinstated. Okay, this one I believe is the general. Take a look. Oh, no, the Gartham Master. Okay, General isn't the new Emperor. The Gartham Master is the new Emperor, because he's the one that controls him. So yeah, I'm almost positive that he's the one that becomes the new Emperor when the old Emperor dies. I thought it was a general. That shows you how much I know and how well they really describe each character in the movie. It's like you kind of have to piece it together along the way. But yeah, he's the one that controls the Gartham, or yeah, controls them, and I think maybe he was the one that made him in the series. So here is a pit by or around the castle that Jin and Kira jumped down to escape the Garthams, and as you can see, she's got fairy wings. And when they reach the bottom, Jin makes a statement. It's like, I don't have wings, and Kira just kind of laughs and says, well, of course you don't. You're a boy. So kind of a deal there to tell you the difference between male and female Gelflings, that the females will have wings and the males will not. Alright, here's a better look at the Landstrider. So, I almost want to say, because it's a guy in a suit, but it's like he's on those big pole legs, like you'd see like, oh, probably like at a Cirque du Soleil. I can't pronounce it. At a circus or at a parade. Okay, this one. I would say this is the Chamberlain before he got ousted. We'll take a look here. Nope, that was the Ritual Master again. Damn it. I am so bad at these. Just looking at them, it's kind of hard to depict them because they all look gnarly and gross and whatnot. Certain ones do have small differences. Okay, this one is the Slave Master again. And the Mystic. So yeah, the Skeksis that appear in Age of Resistance, there's a fair number of them that... I don't know if they all appear in Age of Resistance and live through until the Dark Crystal movie. The Chamberlain for sure. I want to say the General, and of course the Gartham Master. Okay, this one, I believe, I want to say this is when the Gartham Master becomes Emperor and declares that the Chamberlain must be ousted. Yep. In the Battle of the Stone, the Gartham Master triumphs over the Chamberlain and is acclaimed the new Emperor. The Ritual Master places a robe of satin over his shoulders and the crown on his head, and then hands him the jeweled scepter. Okay, here's one of the poor podlings that had just been captured by the Gartham, taken into this life chamber where he's basically, secured into a chair and forced to gaze into the beam of the dark crystal light to have his, essence removed. There's Jin on top of the crystal. I think this is the point, yeah, he had just jumped onto it and loses grip of the crystal. And then that's when Kira, who was up around here, had jumped down to grab it and throws it back up to him as the Ritual Master stabs her. And there's the Mystics on their way to the castle. There's that dying Emperor again. I don't know if they actually gave him a name, besides just Emperor. It is kind of funny, though, because, yeah, to show how these creatures were, on his deathbed, could barely move, barely breathe, but the Chamberlain is, like, on his left-hand side where the scepter is. The Chamberlain looks like he's getting ready to go for it, and he lunges forward to grab the scepter and goes, "Mine!" Yep, the Chamberlain again. And then Kira on the Landstrider. Alright, there's Agra in the chamber, or, locked up in a cage inside that chamber room. The Gartham Master being crowned the new Emperor. Podling, Jin, Kira, the Mystics, the dying Emperor, and Chamberlain. Now, I think well, I know the company called Reaction, who like to make replicas of old action figures. They did come out with a few figures based on the Dark Crystal. I don't know if they actually made original ones when the movie first came out. I think there's ones of like Jin and Kira, and then they've also got a Gartham figure, which, you know, the toy does not look as scary as the the movie creatures. Alright, got Jin on top of the crystal, Jin about to jump on the crystal, Jin on the observatory, the ritual master stabbing Kira, Jin and the mystic. I can't remember if that one had a... Well, I think the one that raised him, he called Master. And that was the one that was shown in that picture there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is Jin jumping over to the crystal. Kira, and a little bit closer look at Fizzgig. If I were to compare him to anything, I would say, if you ever watched the movie Critters, where there's like these balls, little creature like with big spikes and a huge mouth full of sharp teeth, Fizzgig is basically like a fluffy version of them. And then down in that pit that Kira and Jin jumped into, there's like a little waterway out of the castle, and so that was the exit that they used to sneak inside of the castle. Alright, got Kira on the Landstrider, Agra and Jin, the Gartham, Agra's Observatory, Jin holding the lifeless body of Kira, Agra locked up, Gartham Master crowned Emperor, Podling being tortured. Not really, well, I don't know. I guess it's a case where it's like you get hypnotized by the lights and your life leaves your body, and then you're basically just walking around like a mindless zombie. Comparable to basically if you work at Walmart's, then that's what you're resorted down to. You're basically a walking husk. Jin and Agra, the Gartham, the Observatory, Jin and Kira, Agra, Gartham Master, Podling, Jin losing the shard. So, kind of seeing a little bit of a pattern, like almost like they put them in the packs in a certain order. So it's like if you see a certain card, you know what card's going to be coming in next. They don't kind of make it random. Alright. Mystics at the gate of the castle. Combined beings, the Gartham, Podlings, there's Agra sitting, Chamberlain with Kira, and the Gartham Master. Well, unless someone else has been keeping track, I honestly have no idea if we've gotten close to showing them all off yet. I just know we got into duplicates pretty early on, so that's not a great sign, but we've still got several packs to go, so hopefully by the time we get done we'll have the full set. Alright, Ritual Master stabbing Kira. Young Jin and Master. Jin jumping to the crystal. There's Kira and Fizzgig. Secret entryway to the castle. Master telling Jin about the prophecy. Jin playing his flute. The podling slave. Kira saving Jin from falling to his doom. The Landstrider. The, let's see, Ritual Master, right? Yes, Ritual Master. Slave Master. Mystic. Mystics again. Mystics as one. And yeah, kind of a creepy look for them. I don't know if I'll really zoom in or not, but yeah. Just kind of the way they look at the end of the movie when the Skeksis and Mystics combine. Kind of creepy, but it does give them more of like a celestial look, like they were meant, or that they were actually from the stars. I can't remember if that's actually true or not, or if they all actually originated from the planet. I almost want to say that they came to the planet, and that's kind of explains why the Skeksis were seen as gods. Alright, at the edge of the pit, the beginning ritual at the beginning, well, ritual at the beginning of the movie when they're getting some of their power. Jin about to end the prophecy. Jin getting ready to jump. Observatory. Ritual Master. Master and Jin. Jin making the leap. And I am noticing on some of these, the back cards, they are getting some residue from the wax packs on them, so when I go through these and put the ones I want in my binder, I'm gonna have to make sure that the backs are smooth. I don't think it's affecting the ones on the front. I think it's just the ones in the back. I'll check this pack and see for sure. I'm not sure if the light's actually showing it or not. I'm just gonna ignore that. Okay, so here's the front. Yeah, nothing there. But on the back, the last card in the pack, you can kind of see a couple little lines right there. That's the residue from when they sealed them. So that's kind of one reason why they stopped using wax packs after a while. Jin losing the crystal shard. Kira picking up the shard. The Mystics on their voyage. Emperor on deathbed. Chamberlain and the Gartham. Kira on the Landstrider. Jin and Agra. And the Gartham. Alright. Kira, Mystics, Emperor, Chamberlain, Landstrider, Jinagra, Gartham, Agra's Ruined Observatory. Alright, I think I gotta change my music right quick. 1 second. See if I can do this without making it awkward. Never mind. Still going. Okay, we're good. I might attempt to save one of these packs, you know, once I take the cards out, just the wax pack itself, put it in a sleeve. Or if I feel like I've gone through them all, or got all the cards, I might go ahead and save one of the packs as is. Of course, well, I don't know, because I still have a full sealed box, so I might not even need to worry about it. Yeah, it's, well, to a point now that I'm not seeing any new ones, which is a little worrisome. So the Gartham attack. Jin and Kira, Agra, Gartham Master, Podling, Jin, Gartham, and the Podling Village. Now, honestly, with as many duplicates as I'm getting, I might have to consider, I'll have to see how many free spots I have in my binder, because with the Super Mario Brothers ones, I just left them all facing forward like this, and it's the binder that you can't see each side, so it's just one-sided. But if I have enough of these, I might do like one like this, and then the other one like this, so you actually get the full story. There's Agra, Chamberlain, Gartham Master, Jin and Kira, Landstrider, Virtual Master, let's see, there's 78 cards altogether. That means I'd have to have 156 free spots to do the whole thing. Okay, Slave Master, Mystic, Mystics, combined, Gartham, Podlings, Agra. Yeah, if I get through this whole box and find out that it's like, oh yeah, this box only has half, so you'd have to buy another box and get the other half, I'm gonna be super upset. That's kind of how it feels right now. It's like if there's only 78 cards, I feel like I've only went through like maybe 30 some. Like we're missing vital parts. Chamberlain, Garth Master, Kira and Jin, Strider, Ritual Master, Slave Master, Mystics, because, you know, one reason why I'd be upset is because as of right now, because I have one of them sealed, the seal's not bad on it. I kind of want to keep it that way. I was only wanting to open one and keep the other sealed, so if that's the way it's going to be, then I might just have to fork over a little extra money to find individuals online. Jin and Kira, Agra, Garth Master, Podling, Jin, Kira, Mystics, Dead Emperor. But yeah, I'm not gonna bore anyone with that when I'm doing this. I'll probably, once I get through the last pack, I'll probably call it the stream there, and then I might get on to play No Man's Sky this afternoon. More than likely I will. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to sort through the cards before then. But yeah, the next time I'm on, once I've done it, I will, you know, update how the collection is, if I've got actually all cards, or if this is like one of two. Because yeah, that's going to be very upsetting if that's how the company did it, so that way no one can buy a single box and get everything. That's the one thing I liked about the Super Mario Bros. Box. It didn't say it, but it basically had all the cards, and then minus the chase ones, and also the Starship Trooper ones, which I'll be opening up at some point. It says on the box that one box has a guaranteed full set. Agra, Chamberlain and Kira, Garth the Master, Jin and Kira, Landstrider, Ritual Master, Slave Master. Well, this might be a lesson learned type of deal, where it's like I get through all these and find that out that, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, each box only has a certain amount, so you get through like like a third of, maybe even like a fourth of the packs, and then that's all. Everything's gonna be the same after that. Definitely looking like it right now. It's like, as far as I can tell, it looks like we're gonna get the, well, pretty sure we've gotten the cards leading up to the end, which is good, but I'm not really seeing any more towards the beginning. I'm not even sure if I've seen any single digit cards. It's all been, you know, anything from 20 some on up. Probably more. I'm not really paying attention, just realizing that, you know, they're all the same now. This is probably the nicest looking pack I just ripped. That's good. number 12. That was probably the lowest numbered card I've seen so far. Well, I guess in this case they'll go ahead, since I know most of these are going to be duplicates again. I'll look at these, see if there's anyone that look the nicest that I might want to save. It's like we already know what's in them, so it's not like keeping one completely sealed individually is gonna be any better off than having a whole box sealed. They are leaving, well, I think most of it's just the way they cut the cards, like little pieces of card. And then of course the way the residue is on the backs of the packs. Six or five. And I can't remember. I know, and I saw on eBay like a complete master set of the Super Mario cards is like $20, which maybe should have been what I did for these. Been a little cheaper. But there's just something about opening up cards, especially ones from, you know, this would be over 30 years old now. Actually, this would be 40 years? Yeah, if this came out in 82, well, 39, it'd be 40 in December. I'm almost positive that I'm gonna be missing, if not a third of the cards. I would say, well, worst case scenario, I'd be missing half. No, worst case scenario, I'd be missing a third. 2/3, yeah. This is only like a third of the set, and there's like 1 in 3 boxes, or like you'd have to get 3 different boxes to get a full set. Ah, well. Nice just to, you know, on a Saturday, sit here, listen to some calming music, opening up cards from, you know, a classic movie, seeing how sneaky companies were back in the day, I guess. Probably a smart thing to do, to be honest, though, to keep people from, you know, buying a whole box. It's like, oh yeah, you're not going to be getting a full set from this. You're going to be missing quite a few. But at least I'll have a bunch of cards to choose from to make sure I get the perfect version of a certain number. But yeah, I'm probably not going to be opening up that other pack, or that other box. It's sealed. It's, well, sealed from a special company that I think, well, I could grab it here and show it off in a second once I get done with these, because it's like it's got a marking on it to show like it's a special company that sealed it. I don't know if it's a seal on top of a seal or if they just did their own special seal, but it's their way of confirming that it's a legit sealed box. Alright, our last pack. Well, I will at least be ending with the last card from what I see from the back. So yeah, Chamberlain Master, and all these cards that I've been showing so far, it's been like Chamberlain Master, Ritual Master, Slave Master, Gartham Master, all that. There's more Skeksis than that. Like I said, the movie starts with 10. The old Emperor dies, and I believe, I can't remember if it's the Scientist. Like I said, I don't really remember the names, or if it's the Slave Master, ends up being another casualty. So at the end there are 8. And of course, last card with the Skeksis and the Mystics harmonized. So yeah, let me just, well, if I don't knock the camera. 2 things. I will put all those cards in display to show how big of a stack that is and how many, well, I do have the feeling that a lot of that is just going to be duplicates. Like maybe that much is individual, or, you know, actual ones, and then the rest would be copies of those. But yeah, let me go ahead and grab that box right quick. And hit my mic, that's good. Okay, so yeah, this is a sealed box. It's a little scuffed up, but it's from a company called Baseball Card Exchange. And then on the back here is their little authentication saying that unopened wax box of Donruss Dark Crystals from 1982. I've seen quite a few older trading cards on like eBay that have this seal on it. Don't really know if it's legit or not, and I just realized it's actually a little torn there, so it's still technically sealed. Just we'll see if I can actually show it off. There we go. Yeah, right there. Just a little bit of a tear. That's alright. Like I said, much better condition box than this one was, so probably just gonna leave that one sealed. If I end up having to do some, you know, more eBay sales to find the rest of the cards, so be it. I would like to get the full set since it's only 78. It might just, like I said, depending on how many I can actually get out of this, find out how many I'm missing, because as of right now, I can guarantee you don't have all the cards. We're missing key stuff, like, you know, images from the beginning. Like, I don't even think any of these had any good images of the castle itself. And of course the back of this doesn't either. Let me see if anything on the inside does. Because old school, no it does not. Okay. Yeah, old school DVDs had like a little booklet inside. Because yeah, the castle is one of the nicest things about the movie too, because it's dark, foreboding, and that's what happened because of the crystal. It's, you know, calcified everything, turned it into stone, and then by the end of the movie it's as bright and vibrant as the crystal itself becomes. But yeah, I guess that's gonna go ahead and do it for me for now. I don't believe anyone actually watched live. That's alright. You know, it is the weekend. People have other things to do. If you are watching this in the future, though, I do appreciate you sticking around and seeing me open up what was majority of duplicates from this. They're pretty nice cards. You know, there's nothing fancy about them. There's definitely no value with these ones, at least. Since you got like 5 or 6 a piece of each one, but that's just how it goes. Oh, actually, before I go, I forgot I was gonna do one more thing, because in previous streams I did some like at the end of the stream I did a box opening or some type of opening. And one of them was like with these Yu-Gi-Oh! Mystery gems, like the graded cards. And after the last one I said I wouldn't do anymore. Yeah, I'm stupid. I wanted to get one more because one of them, it's, well, for one thing, on the back it says to collect all 3 legendary cards. I can't remember the names now, but yeah, the BCCG crap company. These are basically promo cards that you can't actually use and play. They do have a little bit of value to them, but because they're in these packs, not really worth anything. But I'd open up, my first one had the yellow one here. The second one had the blue one. Now all I need is the red one, and I would technically have all 3. So they had a restock of these. I said, well, because they're only like $12. They're really not that expensive at all. Compared to like one of the newer Pokemon mystery boxes that this company came out with. It's 5 packs for $30, so $5 a pack. Every pack I had, maybe one good card, and it was a V Empoleon. That was it. It was crap, so yeah, kind of a forewarning to anyone who wants to get these. If you have the money to spend and you just kind of like a novelty thing, go for it. It's fine. I'm pretty sure there's actually other companies out there that do mystery graded cards that would be a lot better. If it's the mystery booster box or the booster packs, don't do those. More than likely it's going to be light cards or light packs. Like they take them if they're just the blisters, or well, if they're in the cardboard packs, maybe you could get something. But if they're just in the foil packs, you're gonna get ripped off. But without further ado, I'll show this off. Probably gonna be a duplicate of one I've already gotten. No, I got it. Yes. All right, that was the one I needed. Okay, so we're ending the stream on a good note. Not exactly a good thing, per se, because, like I said, this company is crap. If it's a 10, that's all they rate their cards. And it's a promo card, so it says this card cannot be used in a duel. But now I have a full set. I've got blue, yellow, and red now, so I guess that's alright. I'm gonna call that a victory. Not a huge victory. It's fine. I was half expecting it to be one of the other cards, and then in that case I was actually gonna try to make a positive out of it and say, hey, I will sign this and give it away to a subscriber at some point. Now I'm not, because I guess it's still a possibility, because it's not like these cards are anything special. It's just kind of neat to have all 3. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a good win. Kind of a, well, let's see, what would be the best analogy for it? A tart cherry on a cake. So it looks nice, it's just, you know, the taste could have been better. Unless you like tart, I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling on long enough. I want to thank everyone for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And like I said, I might be back on with a stream on No Man's Sky. But if not, I will see y'all later, and take care.